The September 22nd, 2021 annual meeting of the Friends of the Aiken County Historical Museum is now called to order. We are recording this annual meeting instead of having an in-person meeting because of the demands of social distancing, masking, and general reluctance to assemble as groups with the COVID-19 pandemic this year. Unfortunately, this is the second time in a row we've had to do this, and may we not have to do this again. May it be a joyful social occasion the next time. Thank you for tuning into this, which is being broadcast on YouTube, not broadcast, but recorded and shown on YouTube and also Facebook. At this time, I'd like to thank the nominating committee, Amy Gambrill, Chairman, Susan Gray, and Nancy Hughes for seeing to the election of officers for this next year of the Friends. We voted by email, and the slate was accepted. Also was the bylaw modifications were accepted with 2 dissenting votes. Let me introduce to you your new slate of officers. The new elected candidates, who are now official officers and directors, are Secretary Rachel D'Entremont, who cannot be with us today, Vince Verrecchio in Marketing Communications, Kenna Black as Events Director, and Dana Hall, Treasurer. Vince, Kenna, and Dana have been fulfilling these posts for quite a while now, and your election has just made them official for the next 2 years. Incumbent members of the Friends Board include Chris Jakubec in the position of Membership and Member Relations, Lynn Wheat as Historian, Jeff Wallace as Public Relations Director, and our outgoing Secretary. Today is her last day, and we will miss her. And because of that, I'd like to call Elaine up so that we can present her with something. Thank you for your long and wonderful service. I did some research through the minutes as far back as I could go, which wasn't far enough, I know. I found your name in the minutes as far back as 2015. Maybe you can tell us how long you've been active on the board.
I don't know, it seems a long time. I do appreciate it, though. You've got an excellent board, and you all work hard, so you do well. Your museum is in good hands.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And if you did want to leave now, you could. I just didn't want you to leave before you got your flowers. So, but if you want to stay, that's fine too. So, okay. And now, with those introductions and our appreciation of Elaine Prophet as outgoing secretary, we'll proceed to what everyone wants to know. How is the museum doing? And with that, we will go to the reports, director and officer, as they are called to the podium. First of all, I called Dana Hall, who is our treasurer, to the podium to give the financial report.
Thank you, Kathy. Hello, everyone. It really is my pleasure to serve as the treasurer for the Friends of the Aiken County Historical Museum. Unfortunately, we were not immune to the financial impact of the pandemic this past year. We did see a decline in donations due to the decrease in foot traffic and visitors, as well as the cancellation of several events. However, we were the recipient of several grants and are very appreciative of that. We ended our fiscal year with a balance of $41,200.85 in our operating account, and our investment account saw a 17% growth with an ending balance of $409,442.70. All in all, we're in great financial position. and we're excited to see that continue. So now I'll turn it over to Chris Jakubec with Member Relations.
Thank you and greetings, everyone. I'm going to be giving you an update on membership and also report on my role as member relations. Currently, our membership in the Friends is 262, and over half of that number are family or individual members, but we still have a significant number who've joined at the higher levels of patron, benefactor, and sponsor. So many thanks to all our members who support the Friends and the museum. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, our membership has dwindled in the last year. However, we have seen a significant increase in new members over the past 3 months. We would certainly encourage you to ask your family and friends to consider membership in the Friends. In terms of member relations, we continue to share information with our members through e-blasts and our newsletter. And while a significant number of you open these documents, I certainly want to encourage everyone to open them and read. What is sent is there's always important information about our activities and the museum that we just don't want you to miss. Also, don't forget to go to the website, www.achmfriends.org. You can renew your membership, purchase tickets for our events, and find out more about what's happening with the Friends there. If you have any questions or concerns and want to contact the board, don't forget that you can utilize our email address, achmfriends@gmail.com, and we'll certainly get back to you as soon as possible. So thank you, and I'm going to turn this over now to Lynn Wheat, who is our historian.
Thank you, Chris, and welcome everybody. At the annual meeting 3 years ago, I sat here and announced that we would be developing a book on the history of the museum and the history of Aiken County through the artifacts and the exhibits that are held at the museum. 1 year ago, we actually got our shipment of Moments in Time. And we have been, unfortunately, because of the lack of events that we could hold, we haven't sold as many books as we hoped we would by this time. We have sold 111 books, but I want to say that these books would make a great gift for anyone who has someone that really has a love of history, a love of Aiken County. So we've got the holidays coming up, so think about that. And I've also noticed we've had a huge influx of new people moving into Aiken right now. So if you have a new neighbor, this might be a welcome introduction to the county that they've moved into. If you want to purchase the book, you can go to our front docent desk. They take a check or a cash for $35, or you can go onto the website and use a charge card. So please think about Moments in Time. All of the proceeds go to support the museum. Thank you very much. And I'd like to turn this over to Jeff Wallace and Vince Verrecchio, Marketing and Public Relations.
Jeff wants to come up here. You get us both here? All right, okay. I'm a new face to the board, and I definitely appreciate being elected and taking on responsibilities. Just for me, it's not a job. This is what I've done all my life. The brief background on myself that for 50 years, I've been a copywriter, an art director, photographer, videographer, creative director for an agency, and eventually had my own agency before I sold it. moved south from Minnesota to be warm. I couldn't quite retire, so for 6 years prior to moving here from Landrum, South Carolina, I was a photographer, writer for a magazine up north. What you're looking at here with Jeff and myself is your in-house marketing communications agency. Marketing communications may not be familiar to everyone, but it's kind of a catch-all phrase for everything that you can possibly think of in the world of communications that promotes the awareness, the understanding, and the preference for a single brand. And for Jeff and I, that brand is the museum. We've been working together for about a year now, or roughly, yeah. We haven't really done too much because most of the events have been canceled or moved. Like we have ready to go work for the Low Country Boil, which has been postponed. We have waiting in the wings work for the Passport program. And the one program that we've been working on a lot of late is Recollections. Now this program, as part of marketing communications is everything from advertising to publicity to speech writing to brochures to posters, literally everything you can possibly think of to get the word out and keeps us out there. Jeff, do you want to show some of what we've been working on?
We've been working on Recollections, which is our oral history program. It has not officially begun yet, but we've been working with Kathy and the oral history committee for, I think, over a year now. And great progress has been made. There have been significant donations for the program. We are like that close to beginning to get the oral history recollections of people in our community and events that they recall that are of historical significance. So that's where we are, that's where we're going, and Vince is doing a great job.
Oh, thank you.
He's amazing.
And I think it's a good segue to Kathy, because one of the things she's talking about is some more of the details of Recollections. Thank you very much.
To continue what Vince and Jeff were saying about Recollections, this was originally just a small committee that was brainstorming about the possibilities of doing oral histories all over Aiken County with people who have insights and memories of significant times, places, and events in Aiken County. Everyone who has heard about this program is excited, and we're all excited. In fact, our original 4-member committee expanded to 11 very quickly, and we're at the point where we need more volunteers. So if any of you are interested in that, please call me, 803-439-4026, or call the museum and leave a message for me. We have more volunteers now to begin interview training, to develop familiarity with the equipment that we have purchased, and interview techniques. This is an exciting program. We have not even gone public yet with our need to finance the rest of this project to make it, it is a program, not just a short-term project. We need to finance it so that it's ongoing, so that when I'm not here in the future, this program will still be here and generating interest and funding so that Aiken County can always be documented in oral histories in our recollection program. We were fortunate enough to have talked about it enough in the community that we have been the recipients of donations totaling $27,000 without asking for a penny. So that's the kind of excitement this program can generate, and we would love to have your donations too, also your nominations for people to be interviewed in this program. Not only can you nominate others, you can nominate yourself. We just need to know what you want to talk about, because some of these interviews will be used in exhibits that are in the planning in this museum or updating museum exhibits that already exist. So we'll have archives, we'll have a library. This is probably one of the most significant projects, program undertakings that we've ever done at the museum, and we'd like all of you to be a part of it one way or another. Next, I'd like to talk about grants. We didn't have as many visitors in the museum over the past year simply because people were reluctant to go out, and certainly reluctant to go out in closed spaces. South Carolina Humanities is an organization that works with institutions like ours. In fact, listen to this statement that they want us to use, and it's a wonderful thing. This program is supported by South Carolina Humanities, a not-for-profit organization inspiring, engaging, and enriching South Carolinians with programs on literature, history, culture, and heritage. Well, we took their money and we did exactly that. We kept the museum going. The $6,000 they gave us for the county history room underwrote all of the educational components that we needed to make it state-of-the-art. We are bringing this museum into the 21st century with technology. So yes, there's writing on the wall. You can read panels that will tell you all about the exhibit in the room where you are. In fact, our biggest artifact is this building, 17,500 square feet. That's how big this artifact is. And this year, we have also received, just in the last 10 days, word that we are receiving a check for $12,000 from the South Carolina Humanities to finance 16 outdoor panels, 6 here on the grounds of the museum, and 10 all over the county, which is, all of them are part of the new Aiken County History Trail. And we will be announcing that when everything's ready. This is something you can do that's historical and educational, but it's outside. You will not be in an enclosed place. And we're incorporating this into our new Passport program, which is, again, a traveling program where you can go to each of the 16 places listed in our little passport, a portal to the past, and get stamped at every location you go to indicate you've been there. And who knows, maybe there'll be a prize for you if you finish your booklet. So those are the South Carolina Humanities grants that we have received. We've also received 2 grants from the Accommodations Tax Commission for the county, $2,500 for directional speakers in the county history room, and also $2,000 for the printing of those little passports. We, in addition, received a $1,000 grant from the University of South Carolina, Aiken, to sponsor an author and the Gatsby Party this next spring. And we received $725 from the Downtown Rotary Club of Aiken for bike racks for the cycling public who wants to come to the museum. Altogether, in the last 15 months, we have collected $30,225 in grant money. This more than made up for what we might have done in an event or two. That doesn't mean we're going to quit trying for grants, because it's something that we have grown used to now, and we hope to increase our revenue from grants. We also, in addition to several different event committees, have founded a catering committee. This is a committee of 20 women, we invite men too, who will be making luscious food for events for the Friends and for the museum, and also serve at those events. It's a very fun thing to do, interesting, and will be very beneficial to the bottom line of our events. So if you would like to join that committee, please let us know. You can call the front desk and be transferred to the telephone of the Friends. And now, there are many more things that we could say, but we don't want this meeting to drag along simply because I'm talking too much. So I'd like to turn the podium over to Lauren Virgo, our Executive Director.
Hi, everyone. So glad to be here today to speak to you on behalf of the museum and how we've been doing in this past fiscal year. And of course, I always like to start off with a little bit of an explainer, because people often ask, why do you have a Friends of the Museum, and then you have the museum, and who do we interact with and things like that with different events or different programs? So it's a very weird way of operating, but we seem to have worked it out into a nice little system, so thanks. The official operation pattern of the museum is a public-private partnership, and this was created back in the 1980s when the museum came under Aiken County government. So I'm a county employee, my coworkers are county employees. This building is but maintained by Aiken County government. So they pay the electric bill, the water bill, they keep the doors open to this facility. But it's the Friends who create the heart of this organization. Thanks to the Friends and members like y'all, we can afford to put exhibits in here, we can afford to do educational programming, and we can afford to preserve our artifacts here at the museum, of which there are tons, and I mean tons of artifacts. I swear, we go into a different closet every day and we find new artifacts. So the good and bad of having a house as your collection storage. Therefore, it is a system of private, which is the nonprofit for the Friends, that supplements the public, which is our building and our staffing. One without the other would not work. We simply would not be the museum that we are today without Friends board members and Friends members. And of course, Aiken County government for supporting my salary. Thanks Aiken County. With that being said, I will now delve into the actual report side of my report. As I said earlier, really the big thing that the Friends help support are the preservation of artifacts, the educational programming, and the creation of exhibits. I've divided my report up into these different segments, so I'm going to first talk about preservation of our artifacts and how the Friends support that. As Kathy said, the building is our largest artifact at 17,500 square feet, and not a lot of people know that we are actually two historic structures combined into one. We have the Harrington House, which is on the back side of the property, closest to south boundary. That was built about 1862, and then it is physically adjoined to this addition of 14,000 square feet that Richard Howe did in 1931. As a result, there are some creaks and cracks and lots of leaks that occur in this building. If you've paid attention to our Facebook lately, you have seen some of the results of those leaks. So it is critical for the ongoing preservation of our artifacts and our largest artifact, the building, that we do maintain the structure of this facility, the so-called envelope of our structure. And that is maintained thanks to Friends members as well as Aiken County voters. I'm sure many of the Friends members are Aiken County residents, and they voted in several years ago the 1-cent sales tax, or the CPST, that is funding all these beautiful renovations. So looking at the room today, the fresh coat of paint, the freshly planed floors, all the plaster repair that's going on little by little, room by room, that is thanks to Aiken County voters. So I do want to give them a shout out. Thanks, guys, for helping us keep this building alive and keeping my staff sane, because it is a lot to be running around with buckets every time it rains. Last year, the Friends gave us money towards artifact photography equipment, which has led to much better representation of our artifacts in the collection, much more attractive images to put out there in press releases and on the website. So thanks to the Friends, we were able to buy backdrops, very nice cameras, tripods, good lighting systems, all that kind of great stuff to make our artifacts capturing the history of them even better. The Friends give us every year $5,000, and that is wonderful. We use it to buy all the normal supplies, such as acid-free tissue boxes, acid-free tissue paper, polyethylene envelopes, everything you need to store artifacts that are pottery sherds from the Native American era to 1700s documents that are land plats and land deeds up to the modern era. And it is very critical for us to receive those funds to keep this ongoing preservation, to ensure that our artifacts are around for another 100, 200 years. The other component that the Friends help fund is educational programming. COVID has once again kept us on our toes. I swear to goodness gracious, I thought we would be done with this by now, but COVID had other plans. In light of that, we have continued our History Kits program. We were hoping to bring students back on site, but that is not feasible at this time. And thanks to Major General Irene Trowell-Harris, who gives donations to the Friends every year, we're able to keep our History Kits going. If you've not tried a History Kit or gotten one from us, it is a cute little brown bag, and inside of it are activities, little toys, and educational components that make every student a historian for the day. It is perfect for ages 6 through 12, and if you're an Aiken County student, you can come and get one for free anytime. Social media has been a huge boon for us. I have to say I've gotten used to seeing myself on camera, which is very weird. You never want to watch yourself on camera, but we have produced these videos that I'm very proud of. It takes people throughout Aiken County, shows off our county history, as well as our beautiful building. And if you want to check out any of those, you can just go to our YouTube channel, which is at Aiken County Museum, or the YouTube channel Aiken County 150, which celebrates the 150th anniversary of Aiken County, which is 1871 to 2021, for those of you who don't want to do the math real quick. The other aspect of our education has been an internship. We've done internships off and on throughout the years, but thanks to the Friends and Major General Irene Trowell-Harris and South Carolina Humanities, we were able to fund 2 internships this past year. And that is so wonderful because when I was a student in high school, I knew I wanted to work in museums. And I wanted to go and volunteer, and you can definitely volunteer with museums all you want, but you sometimes want to get a little bit of money for your volunteering time, especially if you're a student or a college student who's very poor and living off of ramen and oatmeal. So this internship is wonderful because it allows people who are interested in the museum profession to come here, train under a curator, a collections manager, an education manager, and really see all the aspects of how to run a museum and what kind of a career that could be for them. So that is a wonderful aspect to know that we are training the next generation. The final component I want to talk to you about is curation, which is basically our exhibits and how they come together. As Kathy mentioned, we are very proud to have debuted back in May our new Aiken County History exhibit. It explores everything from the era of the American Indian and the tribes that were here to the industrial businesses of modern-day Aiken County. Our county has a fascinating story to tell, and it is our pleasure to give visitors just a taste of that, just to entice them to want to learn more about our fabulous community. Of course, I am biased, as we all are, because we live here, we think we're awesome, but it's great to show that off to people who are from California or Mexico or, Poland or other areas of the country who don't know how awesome we are. We also were able to launch last year our first online exhibit. We used funds from the Friends to purchase an online software and showcase the beautiful dresses of the 1920s and 1930s winter colony here that were donated by an Aiken resident, Mrs. Julia Leisenring. Hopefully, this is one of many online exhibits to come. Fingers crossed. Maybe that'll be a great internship program down the line for one of our interns. The final thing is that we have made small changes to a lot of our exhibits as we've been closed for different periods of time based on the COVID restrictions. But our biggest plan upcoming is our new military exhibit. If y'all remember, or if you've been here lately, you know that our military exhibit is downstairs, and I don't like that. I don't like that if you have a walking impairment or you're just not physically able to go up and down stairs very easily, you're going to be hindered in whether or not you'll go and see the military exhibit, which is a very important aspect to Aiken County's history. It spans everything from the American Revolution to the current conflicts. So it was really our goal to bring this wonderful exhibit upstairs, and it will be up here now. If y'all remember the old natural history room, which is just down past the ballroom, that has been completely stripped. It is being repainted, the floors are being redone, and we'll bring in the military exhibit hopefully later this fall, November, maybe December-ish, with a grand opening, hopefully in January, once we can get people back in a room again. So that is a very quick summary of all the upcoming events that we have going on in our museum, and it's certainly not everything that's been going on. And I would like to say a quick thank you to all the volunteers and again the Friends Board who help us make this place what it is today and make it a resource for our community to learn about our own history and celebrate it. So thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Kenna Black about events.
Thank you, and good morning. So in late summer, it was decided out of an abundance of caution and safety to postpone our two fundraising events that were scheduled to be this month, the Low Country Boil and the Gatsby Party. We are hoping to reschedule those for spring of 2022, and events will resume in December with the Christmas Tea and the Winter Lecture Series. And we've begun looking at the 2022 calendar and reintroducing the summer lecture series called the HOT Series, or History on Tap. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Linda Johnson to talk about the Winter Lecture Series.
Thank you. I'm Linda Johnson. I'm a docent here at the museum, and I give a lot of lectures here at the museum and at USCA. I've never organized a lecture series before. So it was a bit unusual that late last summer, Kathy asked me if I'd organize the 2020 lecture series, even though we were in the middle of the pandemic and the museum had just reopened. So we knew things were going to be a little different. But we really wanted to have the lecture series. This year's the 150th anniversary of Aiken County. It seemed a shame not to talk about Aiken County and share that with other people. So despite a pandemic, we proceeded with planning. We came up with the theme of a biography of our home, 150 years in Aiken County. That theme just obviously resonated with us. Went ahead and found lecturers for that. Had to decide if and when and how we would hold it. The when became May and June of this year instead of the usual January, February. We waited until the worst of the pandemic seemed to be over, people were getting vaccinated, and coincidentally, right when we started, the mask requirement was dropped for vaccinated people, which seemed wonderful. How were we going to do it? Well, we had decided to reduce the capacity for it from the usual 100 in this room, you can imagine 100 people packed into this room, to 50 to 60, just give a little extra space there. We offered a Zoom component, a live streaming of the lecture, so that those who weren't comfortable coming in person could feel like they could participate. I'll tell you that live streaming when you had to share presentations wasn't the funnest thing to do. And as Lauren and I agree, we will never do it quite that way again. We will record lectures, provide them, but we'll never try and do them live with the presenters. She's shaking her head violently over there. So we had 5 speakers. Lauren Virgo, who had just completed some research on the founding of Aiken County, did the founding of Aiken County. Derek Berry from the Savannah River Museum presented a lecture on the impact that the Savannah River site had coming to Aiken County. He did a fabulous job. Our own Dr. Tom Mack did a presentation on classic movers and shakers of Aiken County and told us about some of our fabulous historic personnel. Dr. Walter Curry came here to tell stories of his family, his family that rose from slavery in the area of Sally and became sharecroppers there. And he had so many great stories to share. And then I gave a lecture on the four corners of Aiken County, tried to take everybody out of the city limits where we spend so much time to the far reaches, Monetta, going out to Wagner, down to Beach Island, and told them about the history and some great places they could go explore themselves. We made a few changes in the lecture series. We raised the cost. The cost had been $40 for the series for many years. We raised it to $50 and $15 for individual people who wanted just one lecture. We moved it to Sunday afternoon. If you all have been to lectures before, you know that they usually were done on weekday mornings, and wanted to try and reach an audience that maybe works during the week, so we held them on Sunday afternoons. And I think overall that went pretty well. There were a few people that couldn't make it for various reasons, but there are always people who can't make it. And we sold the tickets both online and in person here at the museum. And I think going forward, we're going to start doing it really more as an online thing. I think that's something that works for the vast majority of people. And for those for whom it doesn't, we can make some special provisions. We had 4 sponsors. Security Federal already sponsors the Friends, so they were one of our sponsors. The Aiken Standard gave us money and gave us some good promotional things in the newspaper. Brad Bonney, attorney, sponsored us, and Johnson Johnson, Whittle, and Lancer attorneys sponsored us. I don't know why attorneys like our lecture series so much, but they seem to. So the results. We had 41 people buying full series in-person tickets. We had 10 people buying full series Zoom tickets. And then we had another handful of people buying single tickets for different lectures that they wanted to attend. Spent $215. Most of that went to some gift cards for our lecturers. We had revenue of $3,080. So we made just over $2,800 on the lecture series. Since it was our only real event during the year making money, I'd say that was pretty good. Every single presenter was outstanding. And I know some of you were at the presentations. They were all really good, and I got a lot of good feedback about them. The live Zoom was a challenge. May not do that live again, but I think we will try and record the lectures every time in the future and make them available to people, maybe with a fee of some sort to make some extra money. Any questions about the lecture series? With that, I will turn it back to Kathy.
And now we come to the program part of our annual meeting. I'd like to call Lauren to come back to the podium.
Hi, everyone. Lauren Virgo, Director of the Aiken County Historical Museum again. And I just wanted to take this time to recognize someone who has been with the museum for probably more than the 10 years that she was actually associated with the gift store. She has been a tremendous volunteer and contract employee with the museum for over a decade. She's really made the gift store what it is today, put us on the map, made us the beautiful gift store that we are, and went through a significant renovation of that space with us too to make it gorgeous. We know that she is moving on and retiring to spend more time with her family, and she's leaving the store in good hands with her assistant manager, Linda, who's been wonderful to work with as well. And on behalf of Leah, she said that she has big shoes to fill, but she said that she's glad that to move forward in that position because she knows that you're going to still be involved with us and that you'll still be around whenever we need you, right? Right? Okay, good. And with that, I would like for Nancy Gales to come up here, and I would be happy to present you with a thank you gift, just a small token of our affection for all your years here at the museum. Making our gift shop beautiful. So we've got to do the typical flowers because you're a beautiful lady who loves to do these beautiful flowers. A little bit of cupcake. Weren't sure if you needed chocolate or red velvet. We went with red velvet.
Well, both are perfect.
Perfect. And got to kick off with some champagne. So that's the bubbly.
The champagne, I feel like I should go down there and slam against the door frame and say,
Isn't it? Yes.
yeah, kick off the future. This is all very sweet, and I'm a little humbled and embarrassed by it. The gift store was the love of my life. It was everything I did, whether anybody liked it or not, was what I thought it should be. And now it's ready, for other hands. 10 years is a long time, and so I look forward to seeing what Leah does with it. She'll get my input, trust me. Anyway, thank you so very much. It was my pleasure.
Our pleasure. It's always been great knowing that you were in charge of the gift store and it was in good hands.
Yeah, if I could just stop all the emails from vendors, that would be great.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now I'd like to call forward Courtney Hicks, who is a junior at the University of South Carolina, Aiken. Come on up. Courtney is here because she has received a $1,000 scholarship from the Friends of the Museum. This is an annual gift that the Friends give to a student who is a history major at the university. She wrote me some things about what the scholarship meant to her, but I think you should hear it from her own lips. Courtney?
Yes, I am a junior history major. I absolutely adore history more than anything, and receiving that scholarship and seeing that name of that scholarship ignited a flame in my heart, and it really, really motivated me to continue performing as I have been. My favorite history to study is European history, medieval history, and I've been performing quite well, but I don't know about this scholarship, but it really ignited a flame in my chest and made me want to, continue going to school and proceed to grad school. So I really, really hope that I can represent Aiken, South Carolina, perhaps in another program in some other state, perhaps, but no, this means the absolute world to me, and like I said, I'm just gonna continue doing as I am doing and performing as best as I can. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's really wonderful to hear because we're all about history here at the museum. We've already given you a check for your tuition, but we would like to give you a copy of Moments in Time, which will tell you even more about the museum than you could possibly get through just a couple of visits. So we want you to have that and treasure the museum even more just the way we do.
Thank you so much. I really, really greatly appreciate it.
Well, thank you, and good luck with your studies.
Thank you so much.
Okay. And last but certainly not least, I would like to call up Joyce Ross. We are here to honor Joyce today because of her more than 40-year career in doing things for the museum and for Aiken County. Thank you, my dear. Well, you're just going to have to stand there and be embarrassed, I think. So.
Okay, I'll hang on.
Yes, please do, please do. In recognition and appreciation of her past service as founder of the Friends of the Aiken County Historical Museum, founder of the docent program, director of the Aiken County Historical Museum, and member of the Aiken County Historical Commission for a period of over 40 years. The members of the, I'm going to start again, I'm sorry. that is the advantage.
Hold on,
yeah. Yes, this is the advantage of the videotaping. Thank you, Mark, right. Okay, backing up, okay. All right. Joyce, here is something that we have written to show our wonderful appreciation of everything you've done. In recognition and appreciation of her past service as founder of the Friends of the Aiken County Historical Museum, founder of the docent program, director of the Aiken County Historical Museum, and member of the Aiken County Historical Commission over a period of 40 years, the members of the Friends hereby declare that a lifetime membership in the Friends shall be conferred upon Joyce Ross on this day, September 22nd, 2021, at the museum which she has so faithfully served.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. and that's not all. We don't have anything physical to give you at this moment, but we are very well aware that the museum would not be in this building without you, because in 1983, Joyce moved everything in the museum at that moment from the old jailhouse behind the courthouse to the Harrington wing of the museum. The rest of the building was taken up by the library at that time, and the museum was tucked back in the Harrington wing. Well, there's nothing in this museum that tells the history of the Friends, but there will be now, because Joyce founded the Friends in 1982, and she was the one who was running the museum in the Harrington wing. And so, just after you enter the passageway between Mr. Howe's addition and the Harrington wing, there is a window, and right in that vicinity, we are going to place two panels. One will tell the history of the Friends, which you started, and the other will recognize your contribution to this wonderful institution, making it what it is today. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
You can say something.
Every time I walk into this building, I think of where I walked into another building that was never this clean, never this tidy, and that's enough said.
Well, we do have something physical to give you, just a minute.
Oh, no. This is,
I get it.
good grief.
You have to take something pretty home.
She told me today, or when she called me, if I could be here at a certain time and to wear something pretty. And I looked at the telephone and thought, I haven't worn anything pretty in 2 years. I'm not sure I have anything that's suitable.
You look lovely.
Thank you. So do you.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
This is more than I can. Thank you so much. You're my babies, and I love every one of you. Everything you've done. It's because of you and the docents, every docent and every member of the Friends, that this building has been created and is what it is today. Got good staff, but those docents are really good.
We had to have somebody to kickstart it all, and it was Joyce.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm coming.
Got it? Okay. That concludes our program, and that also concludes our annual meeting. We need all of you who are watching this recording. We need your help at the museum. We need your support. We need your donations. We need your volunteering. We need everything that we can possibly ask of a person for this institution to carry forward the history, the meaningful history of Aiken County. We are celebrating the 150th anniversary of this wonderful county, this unusual county. And we invite you here to view the new county history exhibit, which really is fantastic. Please come and see it. And then wander around and see all of the other exhibits too. and you will be impressed by all the people who came before you, who are featured in this history, and all the people who are preserving this history. Let's be partners in doing that. We'll see you at the annual meeting next September. Thank you for viewing.